Yo, what's good? It's K-Felon for K-Felon Beats. I'm becomerappers.net, peeptheindustry.com. Back with the second part of this tutorial. In the first one, I showed you how to chop the sample, layer your drums, get your your drums and your snares and your percussion and all that together. In this one, I already put the 808 in, but I'm gonna just show you what I did with it. And then I'm gonna just show you how to put like a quick mix on it to clear up all that muddiness that we was talking about in the first video. So without further ado, I'm just let y'all hear the beat again so y'all can remember, and then we're gonna get into it. Alright, so yeah, quite sure y'all remember that. Alright. So I just got a basic 808 here. And I have it I know a lot of people like have it cutting, like they do the cutting another way. I like to do mine like this, create an envelope. I set my attack back a little bit. You know, if y'all guys seen any of my other tutorials, you'll see me do this all the time. So that way, instead of it hitting with that kick, instead of the 808 hitting with the kick, I like to, bring it back some, so the kick, whatever kick I'm using, can hit, boom, and then it just got the lag of the 808 in there. So I got mine set back just a little bit. Actually, this is one thing I didn't do. I'm supposed to do it. I'm gonna find the root note of this. I already have it here. So it's G, that's the root note for this. G sharp, so flat, so B, A, G. Let me put this right here. Boom. So now this is the root note, so C would be higher, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I already got my pattern here for it, so we're just gonna let y'all hear the 808 by itself. Okay. Now the beat, like I said, the sample, like I said in the first video, the sample is at what you call it, E major. So that's basically the notes that I'm using, the major notes for the E scale for the 808. So we're gonna go ahead and listen to it with everything. Now, if you listen to the 808, in conjunction with the sample itself, you can kind of hear. I kind of just like, flowed with the sample and how the sounds were being put together. So I kind of just flowed the 808 with that. So I'll let y'all hear it without everything else. So like you could hear, like with certain notes, it's like peak it up, that I try to take the 808 like right here, peak it up a little bit, break it up a little bit here. With this one, bring it up, and this one right here, bring it down where that note drops a little bit, and then bring it back up, and then put my little twist on the end. This is, like I said, like what I do is not what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? This is just to give you an idea of different ways to manipulate the sample that you're using and manipulate your drum so everything flows together. Alright, so what I'm basically going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and get into this mix. I'm going to go ahead and just start mixing this. This is a sample. I don't have too much, too many instruments with it, so this is basically everything you see here is pretty much what I'm going to use for this beat. Just drops and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not too much that needs to be done with it. So it's not gonna take too much time to actually mix this. We got the sample mixed already, so we got the sample EQ'd, I should say. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this down a little bit. Now we're gonna work on blending these snares in. Okay, before I do this, what I talked about in the first video, where I said, as far as sample goes, what I like to do is find snares that actually blends with said sample that I'm using. So if that sample has a snare in there and I'm using my own snare, like this one right here, this is the stage where it gets, you know, real critical, because you want to be able to EQ a lot of unwanted frequencies out to be able to match the snare that you're using with the snare that's in the sample. You know what I'm saying? So just gonna go ahead and just follow along with me. Now I could do two things with this. You know, right there, right here at about, I'd say 140-ish is where the snare actually hits, and then it has high end. So I'm gonna take band 3. Put a little bit of oomph to it right here. I'm gonna let this just go straight out. Take this, bring band 6 down some, put a little steepness on it, bring it down a smidge. Take band 5 here, break it up just a little bit at 1.5 dBs. Now this is just one snare. I'm gonna just go to the next snare. And looking at it, this one is about at the same spot where it hits 140-ish. So pretty much gonna do the same thing here. But instead, I want this little bit of air in here, and this one. Bring this down a little bit. Bring that one down about 1.5 dBs. And we'll go ahead to the third one. This one is hitting around about 120, so pretty much gonna do the same shit again. Bring this up a little bit, 1.5, maybe 2. Tighten it up a little bit though. I'm gonna bring band 5 up just a little bit, about 1 decibel. Get rid of those two. Maybe tighten that a little bit. Okay, so what I like to do is, depending on what type of snares I'm using, and I do this with kicks as well, I like to find two that sound similar, kind of matching in frequencies or whatever, and I like to pan those and then keep one in the middle. So listening to it, I know the first two, you know what I'm saying, these two are pretty much hitting at the same frequency point. So, you know, they're both hitting at about 140. So I'm going to pan these two. You know what I'm saying? Let's listen to it right quick as I do it. about 85, both of them. And then to get a little bit freakier with the stereo domain and the panning and all of that, put a stereo shaper on the kick. I mean the snare that's in the middle. Excuse me. Go ahead, select stereoize too. So you can hear it straight in the middle, but when you turn it on, now it's panned a little bit. But bring this down some, because I don't want it panned all the way in the speakers, because I got the other two to fill that in, but I just want to get it a little bit out of the center, just so to speak, just a smidge. Now it just sounds like everything, like all the snares are blended. Now we're gonna go ahead and fuck the kicks right quick. Now the purpose of the kicks, what you want to do with your kicks is you want to EQ out unwanted frequencies. So if your kick is hitting at a certain point, you want to focus in on that, tweak however you want to tweak it up, and take and get rid of unwanted frequencies out of the kicks, because all of that extra air with certain sounds, with samples like, or my snares, as far as band 7, I can let the sound go out because, you know, it's a snare and I want that sound to stand out a little bit. But with the kicks, I don't want that extra unwanted frequency that's gonna be within the snare. Okay, so if you can like look right here, there's frequency here, there's action. You know what I'm saying? You can see all of that. So when it comes to like your snare, you know, the highs of your snare is in this exact same frequency range. So the kick would interfere with the frequency of the snare. So instead of having that, you get rid of that frequency, so that way it doesn't interfere. There's no muffledness, you know what I'm saying? And there's no muddiness within the beat. All right. So to continue along, you can see that this is hitting at about 30. So I'm gonna cut it off at about 30 hertz. Tighten it up a little bit to focus in on that spot. And I'm gonna take band 7, put a low pass on it, make it steep, and then I'm gonna get rid of those frequencies. Now I got the kick, and now you see there's no action back here. There's no extra frequencies popping in and out, so therefore it won't interfere with anything that's going on beyond 1,000, you know what I mean, hertz. The kick is out of the way now. You know what I'm saying? This is the area of your kicks. These are your highs, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta understand, when you're EQing, you wanna get rid of shit that's gonna interfere with another frequency range, so to speak, basically. Alright. Now let me listen to these other kicks. Okay, so this is going to be a filler kick. I call them filler kicks because it's just basically filling in to add extra punch to the kick that I'm going to basically lay over top of it. So I'm going to get rid of all of that frequency there. I don't need it. I just need the punch. I'm going to expand bandwidth a little bit. Bring it over some. Okay, so then I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna do the same thing to this one. If any of you know, if anybody out there watching, if you know how to copy and paste, like if I can copy and paste this EQ over here to this one, please show me how to do that. Type it in the comments below. I would greatly appreciate it, because this shit be killing me, because I be wanting to just do the same thing and then just be able to tweak it, but it ain't gonna take me that long to do this. Boom, bring that down there. Boom. Get band 2. Bring you up some. Alright, get rid of all you fuckers. And go back in. So as you can hear, like, you don't really hear the kick, but you feel the kick. So it's adding punch to it. And this is going to be my main kick. Alright, so now you can see, starting off, you know, the frequency range of this kick is a little bit back. It actually starts hitting around, you know, this 60 to 70 hertz range. You know what I'm saying? So it's just going to add that, just going to lay over top of the punch kicks, and as well as the 808s. You know what I'm saying? Now with this kick, I want this kick to be the air for all three of my kicks. Alright, so I want to keep some of that air, but I don't need all of this extra shit right here. I just need enough to where when the kick hits, you can hear it, because that's the type of kick that I want, you know, for this said beat. If you don't, whatever sample you're using, if you don't need it, you know, you can do it like I did the other two or whatnot. Okay, sound straight right there. So what I'm going to do with this one is, since this is my main kick and I want this to stand out the most, I'm going to put a wave shaper on it. Bring this up a little bit. I don't know, for me, with my beats, I like my kicks to be at, like, you know, -6 dB, so punching and hitting right around here. You know, it just stands out for me. That's how I like my kicks, you know. I just like them to stand out, so bring mine up to -6 mainly. Now you can feel that punch in there, so add a little bit more effect to it. I'm going to pan these kicks. And bring them down some. I'm gonna bring in this 808. When it comes to the kick and the 808, basically the same rules apply. So this is okay. So I want y'all to pay attention. This is why I love this type of EQ. I love this parametric EQ too, because it shows you exactly the frequency ranges your instruments is hitting on. So if you look at this 808, like, it's mainly right here in this 47 range, but then it dips down to about this 25-30 range. So I'm gonna cut this off at about 20, because I want that low end. I want that note that dips down and comes down to this range right here. I want that note to, you know, get some respect. So I'm gonna this one. I want this to flow a little. Let me see how this sounds. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a low pass on 7. Let me watch these notes right here. Now, I want to add a little, a little bit of prominence to this. And this is where I like to freak my 808s. So I'd advise y'all to pay a little bit of attention because I'm about to do some little freaky shit. I just like doing it. All right, give me a shot. All right, I'm gonna take band 3 here. I'm gonna put a steep by scrolling all the way down band order, all the way to these 4 see-through boxes, and right around this range, I'm gonna bring this down here. So we're gonna listen to it, and as we listen to it, I want you to listen how the note changes a little bit. And then take band 4 and break it up just a little bit. Take band 7, bring it all the way down here to cut all of this shit out here. We pretty much don't need this. And now your 808, you make it look like a little McDonald's sign. You know what I'm saying? Bringing this frequency range down right here, kind of dipping that out is kind of, I don't know how to describe it. You just got to listen to what it's doing. It's got this slope here, but it's, when that rumble come, it's shifting the note down a little bit. I guess that's what you want to say. And then with the higher notes, I give it a little bit of clarity by bringing this up somewhere where they're hitting that. You know what I'm saying? So it just makes your 808 sound a little, I don't know, got a little bit more rattle to it with this type of beat or whatever. And then we can bring everything in. Bring this down. Around about 80. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now, make this part real quick for you guys so I can get you guys up out of here. I know y'all been here a little minute, but yeah, if you got any questions or anything you need help with, drop a comment below and I will try to get back to you promptly, ladies and gents. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Got this stereo enhancer on the master track. I'm gonna reset the pan so it's straight in the middle. I like this little bit of stereo separation, so I'm gonna keep that. And I'm gonna fuck with this EQ right quick, so we're gonna let it rock. So I'm gonna focus on this high end right here. And I'm gonna bring this frequency range down some. Just because I don't want that peaking within the beat with the hi-hats and the snares or whatnot. So I'm gonna bring this down some, tighten that up a little bit. Lift this, the mid-levels up a little bit. Or the high mids, if you want to call them that. I'm just up about 1.5. Cutting that a little bit. Okay, now I should have told y'all this right quick. The reason I bring the 808 down some and I don't have it as loud level wise is because with the EQing I can lift those levels back up, and as well as with the compression I can, you know, bring those levels up and then, you know, control them, contain them, or whatever you want to call it. So that's why I turn my 808s down, so that way you can hear them, they stand out, but it's not too much. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to describe it for you guys, just the feel of the music. I don't understand music theory and all that other shit. Still learning, but I'm gonna niggerize these directions for you. This is where my kick's at, so I want to add a little. Bring the kicks up a little bit. With compression is tricky. You gotta fuck with it. I'm not gonna really go in depth to compression right here just because I'm trying to cut this down. But I will probably put up another video to explain it to you guys. I would just say look it up online. You can find a lot of shit about it. But I'm pretty much not trying to squash the beat. I'm just trying to contain the beat, so I'm not gonna put too high of a ratio on it, and I'm not going to squash the beat. I'm just going to contain it and just give it more volume. Alright? It's still going to be contained. So, that's the key thing. So, I'm going to attack, breathe a little bit on this high. Make the release a little quick, 100 milliseconds or so. Bring the threshold up a little bit. Make the knee a little soft on it. Give it a little volume. And then bring in the mid. And put this at about a 3-to-1. To contain that snare a little bit. Put this at about 85% for the knee. Make the attack a little bit fast. Release a little. And release back a little bit. Bring the threshold down some. Give this a little volume. Bring the snare down some more. If I wanted to, I could do this right quick. Put a quick compressor on this because this shit is peaking just a little bit. Let me attack back a little. Release quick. Back up a little bit. Want a bit of a quick release for my 808, my low end. Run the volume up just a little bit. Make it a soft mid. Bring the volume down some. Now, as you can see, I just limit the sound. You know what I'm saying? I limit the beat or whatever as far as the levels and all that. Not really squashing it. You know, I don't. The only one I have, you know, it's a 3-to-1 on the mids, just to contain that snare a little bit. But you know, I bring it down about -3 on the meter, and you can bring the gain up. So niggas with these loud ass beats, like, they don't really be containing the sound, they just turning the shit up real loud. You know what I'm saying? You can tell when you see they beats printed out or whatever as MP3 format, like the beat be high as fuck, like there's no peaks. Like, it's because it's not, you know, really done right. You know what I'm saying? So these are just some things that you can, you know, implement into your beats or whatnot. Want to thank you for watching. Appreciate you for watching. If you're not already, subscribe to the channel. If you are, make sure you subscribe to my list by clicking the link below so you can keep in touch and I can keep you up to date with these tutorials before they ever hit the public. Once again, this is K-Felon, K-Felon Beats, upandcomingrappers.net, peeptheindustry.com. Want to thank you again for watching. Again, if you're not already, subscribe to the channel. Click the link below, subscribe to the list, get with me, and I'm going to get up out of here. Deuces.